Previously on Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. Please stay. Ah! Maya? Maya! Don't hide on the table, Maya! Unless there's room down there for me, too. Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today.
I got one down here.
Thanks. Matches? We don't need no stinking matches. What you talking about? You know where you're going with this, Nick? Yeah, MC Bomber. Oh, okay. You gotta think outside the box, Maya. Yeah, right into a CD case. You got it. Hello, I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright. The girl, let her go. Turnabout beginnings. Shut up! Come closer, and I kill her! Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. Bang. Okay, did that actually happen, or was that a movie? Phoenix. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Name Terry Foles. Charge, kidnapping, murder. Sentence, death penalty. After escaping, Foles met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. It was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. You were only her second case. 6 years earlier, Mia Fey, first trial. February 16th, 9:24 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Hey! Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my very first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make some small talk and try to relax him. So, why did you escape anyway? Because he was on death row, Mia. I'm sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. But, Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Sorry. I told a little lie. Oh, boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was strict, I tell you. The woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Foles did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Is this... Oh, crap, I can't remember her mentor's name. Oh, no. Godot! That's Godot! That's Godot! That is Godot! That's Godot! You're not gonna figure out the truth by just staring at the guy. You're... Why are you here? And where's your mask? What mask? Oh, sorry. I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big, scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? That old man is probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and stumbling and mumbling in his sleep. How do you stumble in your sleep? I misspoke, all right? Armando? Well, Armando Godot, I guess. Aren't I good enough? Oh, wait. Diego or... Wait a minute. That name sounds familiar. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me? No. You got it all wrong, Missy. Today, you're the finest. Oh. Thank you. This dress is new. Fits you well, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I do, and, you're kind of creeping me out. Sorry, baby. Please don't call me baby. Sorry, Shirley. Don't call me Shirley either! I really hate it when people call me Shirley. My name is Mia. Anyway, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for our first client. Thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Edgeworth? Is this Edgeworth? Really? However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Genius? Oh, crap. Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time. Where do I know the name Diego Armando from? Solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. I think he was running away from death, actually. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Okay, hang on. I'm going to Google something. Well, DuckDuckGo. I use DuckDuckGo. Oh, he's a soccer player. Oh, hang on. No, it just takes me to Godot's page. Okay, never mind. Well, I was right about that. Okay, I guess somehow or another I heard about the soccer player named Diego Armando. What's it called? After all, I did watch Ted Lasso like 3 times. Anyway, February 16th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. What is now in session for the trial of Terry Fowles? The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Okay. That's a choice. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers? Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone's talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20. Your Honor. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh? Come on, Mia. You can't lose. Not to someone younger than you. Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently on a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct? Precisely. But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death? You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Fowles, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony? The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. Was the body ever recovered? For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. I knew it! She accidentally shot the kid, and she blamed Falls for the death. So Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be exactly the victim, the same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Oh, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, with only one thing on his mind: to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty.
Objection!
But wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor. Watch yourself, Miss Faye. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. What, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite! Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I call the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case. Gumshoe! Witness, state your name and occupation. Gumshoe, Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. I finally got promoted to the detective division about half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous. Oh, here we go again. Excuse me? No, seriously, my heart is aching for you. Oh, my giddy aunt. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, I got it. Now, Detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir, I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. This is a sketch of the Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. 40 feet above Eagle River. Okay. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor. If you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I'd like you wagging your finger at me as though I were some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Did he used to be a teetotaler? A summary of the incident. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Foles. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Foles was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination, coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kitten. You keep trembling like that, you're going to make me spill my coffee. Oh, okay. I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here. It's not that cold. Where? Would you not look at me like that? The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, all right. Especially for a beginner. I don't need you to worry about me. I mean, the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner here. You got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you've got, kitten. It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all night last night watching. Okay. Just like Marky Post did it. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Oh, wrong button. This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Fowles. What? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Fowles. A note? Yeah, a top secret memo that she left in her desk. According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Fowles. Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me? Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to. Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Fowles. A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there? Because it's a very important place to the defendant, that's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Fowles. Returning to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, don't move. We got you surrounded. Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? So Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. Yeah, she never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Fowles, but she left a note on her desk about it. I thought you said in her desk. If only I had noticed it at all earlier, she might still be alive. I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. The person who actually called her was probably blackmailing her. The criminal stuffed a body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. What do you mean, his car trunk? He escaped from a police wagon. Mr. Fowles had a car then? Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, man. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. Ow. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Naturally, that's the body of Valley Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. She's dead, she doesn't mind. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct? Yeah. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here. You can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back, nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange to you anyways. What did the defendant have to say about this photo? What he always says, ma'am. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. That's all he says. Nothing? I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. It's just what he always says, Yana. And then he always says, sorry. I told a little lie. Or something like that. Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested. Precisely. Mr. Fowles was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. That certainly is some impressive police work. Well, no, actually, it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 p.m. We figured that Mr. Fowles might just, try to run. What do you mean it was too close for comfort? The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. By foot or by car. That was kind of close. Any later, Mr. Fowles could have slipped right by. Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony. A trap? Walk into it carelessly and leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh? No, it's not! Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you'd better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for more contradictions afterwards. The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those. But I pressed on everything already. Alright, let's see. Okay, Alright, hang on, let me look at what I've got. Oh, okay, I can actually read this note. Okay, Fowles, 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Wait a minute. He said that she didn't talk to anybody about this. Well, crap. That's not. I can't present that on. Oh, hang on. Oh, she's not wearing a scarf. What happened to the scarf? Right? Yeah, wear a white scarf.
Objection!
Witness! What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Vey? I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that. You should have practiced more before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Vey, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy? Candy? Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee. Excuse me? Come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective. Yes, ma'am. This photo, you said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus, this special request. I I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? Can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, you know, like, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. And you stopped there? You should have looked for it. The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you're searching so desperately for is this one. Is it this one, perchance? Hey! What? Where'd you find that, Soy? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. Why? Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know. That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white, as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. It looks like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth, he was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time. The court will accept the scarf into evidence. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident found on Dusky Bridge. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Fay? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck. Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Ms. Hawthorne and Mr. Fowles did indeed meet on that bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it. Everything is moving at his whim. Don't forget, kid. There's the reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. A genius, huh? The events on Dusky Bridge. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. You're just now mentioning this? This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. When did he get behind her? Did she actually turn her back to him? Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It is about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. A potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said that they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I do! I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, as you can see, Terry Fowles had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Not again, that's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. Who is this eyewitness? She's a college student. A female college student? That's right. Meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements. That is all. But what is that supposed to mean? Prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. A female college student, eh? So they're letting women into colleges now. That's very progressive. I'm not sure how I feel about that, though. Yeah, we got that, Gumshoe. You absolutely must hear her testimony. You'll have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, all right? So, about the witness who took this photo. Again, what was this person doing all the way in the mountains? She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently. In the rain. There are many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Ms. Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Spirits? Now that you mention it, in this photo, this cloudy fog-like thing, is this a ghost? I don't believe it. I don't know. I don't see a ghost. No, Your Honor. No. I don't think it's a ghost. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Precisely why we need the witness. Drizzling, huh? That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in this court right now, room right now. Just my little joke there. Yeah, looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog. Yeah, I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something, let me tell you. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remembered that happening once myself. It was very brutal. Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed? Or were you the one getting pushed? It doesn't mean that you pushed someone down like that once. His mind-boggling tales and the way he says brutal. I wonder if he's Canadian. Ha! Save your nasty look for the right person. Huh? Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself. Hey, watch where you spill your coffee. Court record, huh? All right. That must have been when the scarf fell off. So, in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. But from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. The area was wet from rain. The bridge was probably wet too. Which would explain why the scarf was all covered in mud, but there's something about this testimony that's still bothering me. I think that bridge is too narrow to, anyway. Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo. So what do I do? You really still believe him? Mr. Crybaby, I mean? Of course I do. So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer is obvious. What you believe is the truth. And that means that somewhere hidden in that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance. All right. Let's see. There's something in the court record. Okay, first of all, part of the bridge seems to be out. 5 yards. I'm not. Let me see. It's hard to tell, but oh, yeah. If she fell down on the bridge, on her front, then the front of her jacket should be muddy, like her scarf. Okay. Now where do I present this? Okay, here. So, at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere, you know. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. What is it about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the contradictions? Yeah. Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's quote. As far as I can see, there is nothing strange about it. That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. What? I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If Your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet, but not muddy. Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? Sure. The surface of the bridge, huh? A real man wouldn't stand for a tone like this. Neither would a real woman, you misogynistic, coffee-swilling, gorgeous man, you. Oh, damn it, I didn't mean to say gorgeous. Of course I can. Here is the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. A scarf. The evidence is this scarf. Duh. It should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud. Ugh. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Bimbo? Hey, same to you, buddy. Damn himbo. Miss Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? Huh? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? All right. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here. Ha! You're doing pretty well for a little kitten. Would you please stop calling me a kitten? Mr. Armando? No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence. It's one of those three. I'm going with testimony. What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was his coffee aficionado over here that said it. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. But we won't let him. We'll expose this evidence as the flimsy scam it really is. Yes. The false evidence in this case is the testimony. It is a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that is suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true. Ha! It's not just true, it's the truth. If there was a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We are prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? Wait a minute. That's the chick from the first trial. Mia's second trial. Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter patter. Ooh. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. Hey, not so fast! Also, that's creepy as hell. And is that a Tim Hortons reference? Yes, Mia, it's a Tim Hortons reference. As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. The hell she is! She's a cold-blooded murderer! I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Ms. Fay, you could learn a lot from this man. He's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me. Sir? Yes, my dear? This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause. Not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation? My name is, Melissa Foster. The hell it is! I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department. You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took this photo? Is that accurate? How can you be so mean? Now see here. What are you doing shoving that in her face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. Uh-oh. I don't like the turn this is taken. Is she staring at me? And you would be? Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fay. I see. So you are... Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. The witness's photograph. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police. By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here. I was standing right over here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs. So you took the photo from that location, eh? I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. What a cute camera, just like its owner. All right. A small but powerful model. Interesting. All right then, Miss Fay. Time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. Does that mean I can't press on everything? All right, first of all, I want to check something. All right, I don't want to actually present anything yet. Okay, the note. Dahlia, that was her name. Dahlia something or another. Okay, this time the whole truth must come out. All right. Okay, I'm not sure where we're going with this yet, but this is going to be important. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Did you say wildflowers? Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers. But it's only February. Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come. I know just how you feel. It's just like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard until mine grew in properly. Would you mind if we got back to the facts of the case, Your Honor? Okay, so I can press on everything, I think. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Was there anything strange about the two of them? I'm a bad girl. I know I am. What? It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there. So I decided to watch them. It's like some kind of peeping Tom sort of thing. No, not at all. Everyone's like that. I love watching other people fight too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. That's why I love hockey so much. Actually, that's why I took this job in the first place. Too much info, Your Honor. In any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching them. Especially dressed as they were. Well, anyway, I was watching them very closely. Suddenly, they just started fighting. Do you have any idea what they were fighting about? No, I have no idea. Why do you ask that? Oh, I just thought that maybe you overheard what they said. I would never eavesdrop. I've got more class than that. That's right, Miss Fay. Don't drag the witness down to your level. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. Why did you take a photo? Well, the two of them were really going at it. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kind of took over. That smells like a lie to me. Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on. So you wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearing on this. All I could do was use my camera. So I took a photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police. And right after that, I called the police. You called the police? Yes, because it looked to me like the murderer was going to try to escape. We were already moving before the call even came in. Thanks to the victim's note, we had already started our operation. There was certainly tough luck for the criminal, eh? If Terry Falls isn't the criminal, then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony. Be careful, kitten. That girl has the judge wrapped right around her little finger. You're going to have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers. You're going to have to come up with something really good, Mia. Okay, first of all, that photograph doesn't show Jack or Jack's brother. Starts with an S. Oh, back one. All right. This one, right. Witness! When you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that?
Well, you see...
The photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. Oh. My apologies, young lady. But Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. He can certainly downplay a certain situation, can he? I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean. You ran out of film?
This photo was the last one.
What? Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself, playing among the wildflowers. Wait, there were actually wildflowers on a mountain in February? The witness herself? Then who took the photos?
Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it.
So, you took photos of yourself? Instagram doesn't even exist yet. I remember taking some photos of myself once too. Please, no details. I can only imagine. It seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait just a minute. Well, if she had no film left, then she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
I know it, baby.
Please don't call me baby.
Sorry. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge.
Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk. Ha! It looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening. All right, wait a minute. Oh, the victim turned around and tried to run away. All right, that's new. The victim. Why do you think she tried to run away? With her police training, she certainly knew better than to turn her back on a criminal. Objection! This was a large, powerful man with a knife. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure she would have acted differently. The hell does quaggy mean?
Quaggy? Why you?
If it had been me, I probably would have jumped into the river. There's still something wrong with this testimony.
She only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back.
Wait a minute. No. Okay, all right, wait a minute. So you're saying Sergeant Hawthorne wasn't able to get away from him?
Well, it's a narrow bridge, and it was swaying back and forth. If you ask me, both of them were in danger of falling off. I only wish I could have done something to help her.
That seems to make sense.
I wonder about that. Something seems kind of off.
Ha, does it now? You have a good sixth sense. When you feel that something's off, that's when you need to figure out why.
If Terry Fowles isn't the correct... Oh, wait, we've done this already. All right, Yeah. Okay, Okay, if she was standing there... I'm sorry, Editor Unca, but you're going to have to put this in. If she was standing there and Terry's back was to her, then there is no way the sergeant could... Wait a minute. There's no way Sergeant Hawthorne could have run away from him because part of the bridge is missing. Witness, your testimony is a joke. Huh? What? But I just...
Miss Fay, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry.
One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse.
You say there were two contradictions?
It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then...
She would have hit a dead end.
You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have even run 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side.
What does all this mean?
It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness has told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it.
This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court? Just a moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram.
What'd you say?
What are you referring to, eh? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying... I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident.
That's ridiculous.
You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. Damn it. Ha! That guy's good.
Huh? What do you mean?
He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, that diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy.
What? That coward.
Well, Miss Fay, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
I'm sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No. It wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish, once and for all, what it was that the witness actually saw.
Indeed.
All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
But so hard to go on.
We're all on your side, Miss Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Hawthorne! Dahlia Hawthorne!
What? Um, her name's Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Valerie Hawthorne. Sister? The hell's going on? Yes, sir. Completely forgot what I was doing. Running from the crime. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. The hell it is? He was standing right over a river. A notoriously turbulent river. Turbulent? Turgid? He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Witnessing such violence must have been difficult. Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up. If he accepts his testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that. Oh, well. Maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. I make a really great mocha latte. Wait, I thought you only took your coffee black. This trial isn't over yet. Ha! That's what I like to hear. All right, Miss Fay. Your cross-examination, if you please. The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. All right, After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Are you saying that the victim didn't fall down on the bridge? Actually, maybe she did fall? Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that was the case, her coat would have been all muddy. Objection! If you don't mind, I was asking the witness. No need to be so rude. You were leading the witness! Well, young lady? Of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could. Ha! We're one step too slow. And then what did the defendant do after that? Then he carried her over to the car. You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off. You mean this scarf? Her words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem. You coached her! I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. All right, I'm not even going to press this one. I'm just going to... Wait, is it this one? Oh, no, I am going to press this one. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? Yes. Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult. Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that? Well, the facts of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly. Wow, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden? Miss Fay, if you think there's some other possibility, please share it with the rest of us. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide the corpse would be going overboard, wouldn't it? Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. A surprising number of people go up there. But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct? There's also a small temple and a channeling dojo there. You know those monks, they just love cold, isolated places.
I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse could have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
All right.
Oh, okay, what do I present? Is it the map? Or the photo? It's gotta be the map, right? A killer not wanting his victim to be found. I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found.
Well, what is it?
Take another look at the map of the area, and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river.
For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered.
In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at that same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water.
Order, order, order. I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Fee. But I must admit it does seem odd not to have thrown the body into the river.
Ooh, you big-breasted hussy, you. What did you try to call me?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth. How sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try to take a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature.
What are you talking about?
My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Fate, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all.
But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous.
Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. They're certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. She was killed somewhere other than the bridge. Please, witness, go on with your testimony.
I'll try.
All you have to do is tell us what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again.
What's he talking about? All right, I'll do my best. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body there. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge.
All right, he broke into the trunk of the stolen car. Why break into it? All you have to do is pull the little lever in the driver's compartment. What did the man do then?
Well, naturally, he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police.
So that's when you called the police?
You're sure that you saw all that with your own eyes? Yes, I'm 100% certain.
Ah!
Something about this testimony is bothering me. But what? Hey, kitten. Have you ever put salt in your coffee? No, why would I? Why not? Huh? May actually go better with coffee than sugar, right? What? Listen, my point is, if you're not sure, you might as well add a ton of salt to it. It might bring out the rust in something, like a piece of evidence. I mean, I've put turmeric in coffee. Used to do that a lot. He's right, Mia. Go present something. You've got nothing to lose. By the way, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee. The two don't go well after all. All right. Wait a minute. Hang on. There's no way she could have seen the car, right? Yeah, no, there's a cliff in the way. She said she was right over there. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Huh? Done what? Made a crucial mistake. Oh, a crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fee? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes. Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car. This outcropping of rock is directly in the way. That's right, Ms. Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but you still claim to have been able to see the killer's car. No! Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of all this value? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Mr. Judge? What is it? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, wait a minute, you can't just say that. Miss Faye, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Except for me. And look at me. Yes, indeed. You are quite the specimen of a man. Quite true. You know what they say about you? To err is human, to forgive divine. I am inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here.
What? That's not fair.
Save the tears for later, kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Don't look back until the trial's over. Now's the time to go forward.
But that wasn't fair.
Okay, kitten. You need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony.
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body there.
So tell me, how did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk?
Aha!
Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, kitten, I mean, witness?
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk. Because there were marks left on the trunk lid.
How do you know that?
I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it.
What? Let me see that photo. Oh. It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied?
No! The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere?
It doesn't work. If he was able to drive the car there, he was able to open the trunk from inside the car.
Melissa Foster. It looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field, taking photos of wildflowers. But even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is, when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches?
Well, yeah, there's that as well. But I think I already mentioned that.
Finally, I finally got her.
Ha! I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. And perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself.
Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... oh crap. She put the corpse in herself. There's only one way that the witness had the chance to see those scratches.
Yes? What is it?
Naturally. When she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was... Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I can never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in that trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. I see. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Ms. Foster, if that is your real name. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. No! preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. We already know that at the time she was taking photographs. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about anything On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is that the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Ms. Foster herself. Oh, right, timer. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Ms. Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly, she was not in the field. Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question, we'll also make clear Ms. Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred? She was posing as the victim. Naturally, the witness was right here. But that's where the victim, Ms. Hawthorne, was standing. Order, order, order! Miss Faye, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. This would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine. Of course, Mr. Fowles met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Fowles. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Fowles met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me. Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Fowles himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You are just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open.
At the time of the incident, Mr. Fowles had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. The note. Mr. Fowles had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Fowles who requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing the scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? No. Womp. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. Only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Huh. We'll have to wait for Ms. Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. This court is in recess. To be continued in the next episode. To the outro. Okay, so I looked at the first trial, and yeah, the murderer's name was Dahlia Hawthorne. So either the game's getting real cheap with its use of assets, or this Melissa Foster is actually Dahlia Hawthorne, who was also mentioned in Valerie Hawthorne's note. Why would she want to kill her own sister, though? Did she actually kill her? I mean, she certainly wasn't on death row 1 year after this, when Mia saved Phoenix from a murder conviction and had her convicted instead. Well, I guess we'll find out next time. Anywho, up here is a playlist of my Danganronpa Goodbye Despair playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!